I'm Dr. Kimberly Manning.
And this is Dr. Ashley McMullen. And you're listening to the Human Doctor Podcast, where we explore the human side of medicine, along with teaching, living, learning, and all things in between. Using the power of storytelling, conversation, and connectedness.
Hey, we're two dope academic internal medicine doctors, but we ain't your doctors. So if you perceive anything we say here as medical advice, no, it ain't that. Also, the things we say, they only reflect our brilliant Black woman magic mind and not our employers.
You could have been anywhere, y'all, but you chose to be here with us, and we appreciate you. Let's go.
Y'all, our executive producer was having some storage issues, and the least I could do is offer to record to save the file to my device. She's like, "Do I want to edit it?" No. I also don't know how.
Well, I appreciate you stepping up in this capacity. It didn't even cross my mind. I was like, oh my God, we're gonna have to scrap this for however long so I can clear out my computer. But
I be stepping up sometimes.
Yeah, come to the rescue. Let's go.
I be stepping up. I ain't that raggedy. Yes. I'm checking out Jules today. Her little silver situation looking kind of good.
All of it though, because I've been sitting here staring at your skin because I'm just like,
oh, really? I was thinking my face was looking kind of full today.
No, I mean, whatever it is, it's glowing. Like that's the vibe.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. I've been using some type of moisturizer with vitamin C in it. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess, and the lady that talked me into getting it, I'm gonna let her know that somebody told me my skin was glowing. You're the second person to tell me that.
Okay, well then I'm gonna need you to send me the product afterwards so that I can look at it.
I absolutely will. It's by Sunday Riley. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. That's all I
have. Wonderful.
How are you today on a scale of 1 to 5?
I am a 4.8.
Oh, that's high.
As I continue to work on my consistency with sleep, I am still grateful for all that life is offering me right now. And especially as we go into this Thanksgiving season, I am just eternally thankful for so many things.
What's one specific thing you're thankful for?
I'm grateful for my chosen family here in the Bay.
Okay.
Like I mentioned before, this will be my first Thanksgiving here as opposed to going home to family. And I'm really looking forward to it. I've got some things I'm going to do solo, but then going to dinner with some friends that evening. We're going to go to Fogo de Chao, which I've never been and didn't know they were open on Thanksgiving.
Oh, great.
I was talking to my therapist earlier about kind of the opportunity to shape new traditions sometimes. And particularly for this year being the first one without any of my grandparents. It could be a somber occasion, but it's also kind of an opportunity to kind of start new things. And so I'm actually kind of excited for that possibility.
I love that. I love the idea of just, what you say impacting what you see.
Yeah.
Right. Because you could say it's going to be really heavy. It's going to be hard because my grandparents have been a big component to holidays and they're not here and I'm not going to be there and it's going to, and I'm glad to be surrounded by friends, but it's going to be versus, hey, this is a new opportunity to create new traditions and, unfold my life and find new pockets of joy that I didn't really realize were there. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
What about you? Type 3 Enneagram.
Oh my God. Okay, first of all, let's loop back on that. I did retake the test. Solidly a 3. Damn.
Yeah.
I am an Enneagram 3. Wing 2. I did discover the wing 2. I've been I was so determined to find this out that, normally when I take those tests, they're the free one. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pay the $9.95 to do the paid test because I'm like, maybe I will discover some added component to myself. No, I'm a 3.
See,
I'm
now we
good.
can embrace it. Now we know. Okay.
We can embrace it. You know, I must admit, there are aspects of it that are not, a surprise to me.
Hmm.
But as I look at some of my fellow Enneagram threes out there, talking to you, Beyonce and Oprah and, you know,
Calvin.
Lady Gaga and Calvin, Joe, yes, our dear
Yes.
friend. Um, I I think in addition to some of the things that probably one could give a side eye about the three,
Hmm.
I do think individuals who are Enneagram three are often people who have some big talents that they're not afraid to use.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
because there are sometimes things you like you take a risk, sometimes when you do something. And half the battle is do you think it's gonna work? Do you think it's okay? Do you think it's a good idea? And you know, more time leaning into the possibility of winning, um, than the possibility of people judging you and not
Yeah.
approving.
Yeah.
Um, and I used to blame that on like youth. Some of the things I tried in the past, I'd be like, oh, I was just young. I did not realize what all could happen. But perhaps going down that rabbit hole and reading more about Enneagram types, it made me kind of understand that, it takes some guts to actually know what some of your talents are and not be afraid to use them.
Absolutely.
You did ask me how I'm doing today on a scale of 1 to 5. I am a 5.
Okay. That's one of our first
Full
fives.
on 5. Yeah,
Yes.
both of my sons have come home.
Hmm.
They are here safe. They both had good semesters. Um, Isaiah got home first. I had dinner with him because he asked to. And we hung out on a Friday night and we were chilling and it was great. Zach got home today after um, his team played Howard University and
Oh, wow.
in an away game.
Yeah.
And remember, Zachary's a freshman, so he has spent the entire season, working out and standing on the sideline because, when you're a freshman in a D1 program, unless you are a phenom, you often do not get to play.
Hmm.
And unfortunately and fortunately, Howard was winning. Um, and the further the spread got, the more I was like, I wonder if they're going to put Zach in. And we were watching it on ESPN because it was on
Mm.
TV. And they put Zach in.
Wow.
Um, and the first time he touched the ball, they gave him the ball. Um, I mean, I know you don't watch football, but for people that watch football, they're going to appreciate this.
Yeah, I know.
It was second and 8.
Hmm.
He ran for like, 12 or 14 yards and got a first down,
Hmm.
which was great for his very first time. Then the very next play that he played, he ran like 14 yards. Like it was so affirming for him
Hmm.
because when you've been working out and at practice and everything, but you haven't actually been in a game,
Yeah.
um, he like if I didn't know him, I would be like, well, who is that running back? That's exactly probably what I would have said. So,
Yeah.
and they called his name on
Oh,
ESPN. So they're
okay,
like,
Mom.
that was Zachary Manning out of Atlanta, Georgia. I was like, oh my God. So like I was a 5 point plus 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 that day.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Well, I will have you know, I do know the game.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, I
it's
just, I don't know. I just went to. Oh, sorry
well,
for the shade. No shade.
yeah, no, don't be putting me in that category.
I'm
Like,
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
well, we could continue so much more things to think about and be grateful for. Although I will just throw one more in there, which is, your and now my friend Tanya Spencer
Oh,
for the incredible gift of kindness she surprised me with last week. It
you
was
want
so
to share
sweet.
more?
Well, I've mentioned maybe more than once on the podcast that, I am a runner. I am currently training for my first full marathon. I
Yay.
have a couple halves under my belt, but it's been quite the journey. And Tanya, who is a listener and a close friend of yours, and it sounds like also a fellow runner, gifted me with a frame for my running medals and my running bibs that was custom made, had my name on it, even had like a figure of a little like female runner with a hair puff. Like,
Oh, I didn't realize that there was a puff. I got to look back at the picture.
yeah. So, or it could be a bun, but to me, it was a puff. So, yeah, I didn't have to do that by any means.
Mm.
Totally made my day. I was just like, what is this? I remember going to the package room. I was like, what the hell is this? And I could hear like clanging in there. So,
Yeah.
my immediate thought was like, I'm gonna have to sign up for a lot more races, get more medals. But that was something
Oh, I love
incredibly
that.
special to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I told you before, Tanya's awesome. But the even better part about it is that like she just said, oh, do you think it would be weird if you gave me Ashley's address? I wanted to send her something. And she didn't tell me what it was. I had no idea until you told me.
Mhm.
And since she is an extremely close friend of mine, this is not like an acquaintance. This is a very, very good friend of mine. That's why I felt comfortable letting her have your mailing address. I promise she's not going to stalk you.
No,
And if
that's
she did, you
fine.
would be better for it because
Yeah.
she's,
Like I trust you.
yeah,
But yes, thank you so much. So
yeah.
much.
Shout out to
Um,
Tanya.
Shout out to Tanya. Drum roll, please. Alas, this is not just simply the Ashley and Kimberly chit chat show.
No, that's right. That's what
This
it's feeling
is
like.
this is the Human Doctor. We are here for a reason, and that is to tell incredible stories of the human experience of doctoring and life and learning and everything in between. And we have gotten past all the bye weeks, and now we're in the good weeks, which are the weeks that Kimberly is telling the story, and those of us whose ears are privileged enough to hear your voice get to sit back and be stunned by the wisdom and the artistry and the voice that might even drop a couple bars. She might sing a song. You never know what Kimberly's going to do, and that's what's so wonderful
Show
about
don't.
it.
I
Might
don't,
not know what
Kimberly
Kimberly's going
don't
to
know
do.
what Kimberly is about to do. That is the truth. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yep.
she is going to tell us what is.
Mm, mm. What is the what? The what is complain.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Complain. And it's
Mhm.
funny because you don't know the story that I had in my head, but there were things that you've said in our little chat before as we got started, that kind of make me think of what I'm going to share today. We've this time of year, I think especially, is that if anybody's ever experienced loss, if they've experienced any hardship or anything, I think the holidays pronounces it more.
Mhm.
It makes you sort of wrestle with joy because it's a joyful time. And if you have any grief or anything like that, you almost feel like you betray the grief by
Mhm.
feeling joy, or should I feel joy, or how
Yeah.
am I supposed to feel? Or, it's just a really weird time emotionally. I also talked about a couple weeks ago, um, this very weird space of being sort of middle aged, where you have aging parents or people losing parents, having health issues of your own, and then having kids and helping them navigate life. Some of my
Mhm.
peers have grandkids too. It's just a lot, going on and coming from a lot of directions. And a lot of people our age are still working too. And the world is crazy, right? We know people that, have been impacted by SNAP benefits getting disrupted, people losing their jobs, getting laid off, people furloughed, all these things, it's so much going on. And so if you look at all of the like awful that people are dealing with, it's a lot to complain about,
Yeah.
a lot to complain about. Add into that working at a place like Grady Hospital or the San Francisco VA, where a lot of people have been, disenfranchised or underserved or who just be struggling. You just see a lot of stuff, and there's part of you that says, hey, you know what? They got something to complain about. If you start
Hmm.
complaining and you going through, like, if I'm about to discharge you from the hospital and your discharge is going to involve you taking a plastic bag and just walking up out of here to wherever,
Mm.
um, that's something to complain about.
Yeah.
So, there was this one week that stands out for me as one of the most like memorable weeks I had at Grady. And I know a lot of them seem memorable, but this particular week I was working not on inpatient, I was on outpatient, working in the clinic with residents. And there was this patient who had come in, and this was quite a few years ago. He was sitting in the waiting room. He was there in time for his appointment, but we could not check him in because he didn't have the copay. So the nurse came out and told me, they're like, we can't check him in without the copay. And the copay was $10.
Mm.
Now, for many reasons, because I'm a bleeding heart. You need $10 to see the doctor. I'm gonna come out there and be like, let me pay the $10. They ask us not to do that, because it's a slippery slope. I get it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But the patient was like, it's okay. Um, I'm just waiting. I'm actually waiting for my son, and he's going to give me the $10. So this patient's appointment was at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I was going to be in clinic for most of the day that day. And I, it's like 9 o'clock. And I was like, hey, the doctor that you were going to see has more patients, and we trying to work you in, but when are you going to be able to when's your son coming? He said, well, my son is at work, but he's on his way to do it now. And I was like, okay, so he's going to come here and bring it to you. You're going to go out and get it. He said, no, he's going to wire it to me.
Oh.
My son lives in Detroit. And I was like, hold up. So this person who was probably like 5 or 6 years older than I am now was sitting in the lobby at Grady Hospital in their 60s, waiting for their son to wire them $10. I have no idea even where the wire was going to come to. I don't know how this person was going to get the wire. I don't know how that was going to happen. But whatever it was something that he was waiting for. And he said he had to wait until his son got on break. This entire thing is blowing my mind. I was like, wait a minute. So your son is working a job where he needs to wait for his break. On his break, instead of going to eat a sack lunch or whatever, he got to
Mhm.
go and wire you $10. And then with that $10, you got to figure out how to get it and then give it to us. And then hope we still gonna check you in. So I tell the patient, like, hey, look, I, the staff would not let me just check him in because we have too many people like that. So
Yeah.
I said, I'm here all day. And when you get that $10, I'm gonna make sure you get seen. So he ended up, by the time we saw him, it was close to lunchtime.
Okay.
Okay.
Goodness. Hmm.
Um, And it wasn't like this person had like a non-healing ulcer on his leg that demanded urgent attention. It was just that he had some chronic things. He needed to see a doctor. He needed some refills. He just needed stuff. And he really, really wanted to see the doctor. And we got him seen. And, you know, the way that he behaved through all of it, the most disturbing part, he was very grateful that we got him seen, but there was such an ordinariness
Hmm.
to the way that he navigated that situation.
Yeah.
It was like this is not the first time this has happened to him. Um, I heard him talk on the phone to his son. He was like, Daddy, I can't talk right now. I got about 20 more minutes till my break. And as soon as I get on my break, I'm gonna get you, Daddy. But I can't do that right now." And he was like, "Oh, I'm just scared they're not gonna check me in and let me get my medicines." He said, "I don't know what to tell you, Daddy, because so and so, and you could tell this was a grown man that he was talking to.
Hmm.
And it wasn't like he wasn't like tearful. He wasn't, it was just the thing that he seemed the most like really, the most dramatic part was that I agreed to still let him be seen.
Mm.
Because, sometimes people just get so used to losing
Yep.
that they just are ready to lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no sort of, entitlement or expectation that I was going to do anything. He just felt such urgency to try to get seen. I was like, look, man, we got you. And that was it. We
Mm.
saw him. It was not no dramatic visit. It was cool. I've probably seen things like that more times than I can count. Things where I'm like, this person should be complaining and complaining and complaining. They should be going on and on and on and on and on about like what's bad and what's this and what's that. But I don't really see that much. In fact, usually people I see complaining are the ones that don't really have nothing to complain about. Or it's in my house. It's one of my kids. Um, so the second part of this happened on a completely different day. But it is worth sharing because it is something that I will never forget. And it's a story that I remember telling my father.
Mm.
And it was probably one of my favorite things I ever told him that happened to me at Grady. Um, so I am walking out of clinic. We were very, very busy. I had worked through lunch and it was like 12:42 and I had to be back at 1. So I was going to run and go get me something to eat and come back. And I am hauling ass through the hallway, like hoofing it. And people are like, don't run nobody over, Dot. Watch where you going, Dot. And I'm trying to hurry up and get where I'm trying to get. And as I start to approach the main elevators, we were in one of these phases where Grady was doing work to the hospital. So it was like one main hospital set of elevators that was working. And it was just crazy. And as I'm walking over there, it is kind of I kind of see like a little energy around there, like what is going on here? But there was one elevator set, so a lot of people was waiting for the elevator. But I kind of hear some commotion and I stop. I was like, what is that I hear? And I start slowing down my walk and I'm walking slower and slower. And as I get closer, I hear a voice. And it is like a very elderly man. He has got to be about to approach 90. And I look through the crowd and I see him, and he is standing like in the vestibule outside the elevators, which take 30 million years during that time frame. And he's got like a trench coat over his arm, a cane in his hand, a four-pronged cane, and he got both hands on it. And he has like a little cap on his head. And he has broken out in song
Wow.
with like easily 20 people waiting on this elevator. And the man was singing, I had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days and some sleepless nights. People start chiming in and shouting. He's like, but when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. I won't complain. People start shouting like it was church.
Mm.
So I'm like, wow, this is like the greatest thing I have seen in a long time. But it gets greatier. This elderly lady who has to be close to his age, who clearly don't know him, steps in and stands beside him.
Oh
And
my
she
God.
goes to, sometimes the clouds hang low. I can hardly see the road. I ask the question, Lord, why so much pain?
Mm.
But he knows what's best for me. And now they're singing together,
Oh my God.
even though my weary eyes can't see. So I just say, thank you, Lord. I won't complain.
Mm.
People are shouting. It was like church. Like it was like this is a ordinary Thursday at Grady Hospital, middle of the day. It wasn't Sunday. It wasn't Easter. It wasn't the holiday.
Mm.
But as I stood there looking at those two people, and I said, you know what? They are definitely old enough to remember this hospital segregated. They are definitely old enough for somebody to have called them by their first name, called them gal, called them boy, um, to have dealt with, a segregated Atlanta. They have seen plenty. And they are in this hospital, which means they probably are living with some type of health conditions. They have said goodbye to people because when you live to be that long, you get to a point where you start to say goodbye to people. And there's
Mm.
people that there's things that you want to ask somebody and you can't ask them because they're not here anymore. But with all of that stuff going on, this man chose to sing that song. And not one person in that room acted phased. They didn't act like they was holding anything up. The elevators actually opened and closed. Nobody got on out of
This,
respect.
wow.
And it kind of like everybody like shouted and said like, they kind of sang a little bit more and then it just kind of fizzled out.
Mm.
And then people went on about their day. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I remember telling my dad this. And my dad was like, that is one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. So I sent him the song, a clip of the song off of YouTube. And he listened to it over and over and over and over again. And he loved it. He loved the message. He loved this thought of all of my good days outweigh my bad days. I won't complain. And, I was thinking about you talking about your grandparents not being here, about how you're going to not be home, but all of your good days outweigh your bad days. You won't complain. When my father um, passed away at his memorial service, that was the song I asked somebody to sing
Oh, wow.
because I know he loved it. I
Hmm.
know he loved it. And as, as painful as it was to say goodbye to him, I knowing that when he was completely well, the idea of all of my good days outweigh my bad days. Or sometimes the clouds hang low, I can hardly see the road. I'm like, you know, I have to say, in this weird space I am in life, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. And I think that the way that you can smile when you are sitting in a lobby waiting for somebody to wire you $10 when you are a grown person is because there is love in that relationship. And it was a very loving exchange between him and his son.
Mm.
And all of his good days outweigh his bad days. Hey, doc, thank y'all for seeing me. I won't complain. I was like, man,
Mm.
I mean, that, whenever I think about that moment, I think like, I am so glad that clinic ran over and allowed me to witness that moment in in the way I needed to bear witness to it. Because
Yeah.
somebody else could have told me what happened. It was an old dude singing in the lobby, just out the top of his lungs. It was wild. It wasn't, it was a spiritual moment that
Hmm.
everybody shared. And it was like, it was a religious moment, whether you believe in God or not. I don't care who you are. If you were there in that moment and you watched everybody kind of come in and fellowship around them, it was,
Hmm.
oh, it was dope.
Oh, God. I literally don't think there's anything else to say. I feel like we should just sign off and go listen to the song because
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
because it sound better than me singing it. That's for
no, first of all, you have a great singing voice. I'm
sure.
a little jealous that you can just,
Mm,
riff like that. But,
mm,
it reminds me, like, even today, I was trying to get somewhere in San Francisco and like the ramp to the freeway was blocked on like both sides. And I find myself kind of, getting into that space of just like, this day is like starting off terrible. Like, everything sucks.
mhm.
And it's just so unfortunate how easy it is to get kind of bogged down in the minutia of like day to day
Yep.
and how we can allow these small inconveniences to turn our awareness completely off to everything that's beautiful.
Mhm.
Like, I have a free Monday to like go into the city and like, attend this event that I like wanted to attend. And yeah, maybe I was like a little 5 minutes over, but like, I still got to be there.
Right.
And it's beautiful outside as it almost always is in the Bay Area. And it's these constant little reminders that you have a choice
Yeah.
each day, every moment, how you're taking in
Yeah.
the inputs of life, that is going to be like some ups and downs, but
Yeah.
cumulatively you still have a choice to see, the good days for most of us do genuinely outweigh the bad if we
Yeah.
choose to see it that way.
And, I mean, to be clear for anybody listening,
Hmm.
that is, living with depression or a
Hmm.
mood disorder, we talk about that here,
Yeah.
and we realize that is something separate. But what we're more talking about is where you have agency over your emotions, and, you know, you get to walk into a day and decide what it's going to be. Because more
Yes.
times than not, we do. And that made me think about when we were talking about our Enneagram 3 compadre, at least my Enneagram 3 compadre,
Yes.
Calvin Joe.
Mm.
I remember when Calvin was going through a very, very, very painful time, um, how you could still find a smile in him and how
Mm.
you could still find a hug in him, and how at times where I was like, oh, I'm gonna be in San Francisco, but I won't be able to see you because I know I know things are hard. And he's like, no, no, let's, like there's a place to kind of hold all of those things at once. Like it.
Yeah.
So now I'm learning that, when you feel joy, you are not betraying grief. You're not,
Mm.
you know.
Hmm.
When you acknowledge your weary days, and the days that the clouds hang low, it doesn't mean, but you choose not to complain, and you choose to shout, with joy, or smile, or still laugh, or meet a friend and, hang out with them, and allow yourself to laugh. That's okay. That's okay. You know, and I think the whole thing about complaining is it can become habitual.
Yeah.
I think the thing that me and my dad like so much about that song is that, if you get yourself in the habit of always pointing out what's bad, and complaining, you will be stuck there
Yeah. Mm.
versus looking at like, man, I am blessed. All of
Hmm.
my good days, if you stack them all up, that stack is bigger than my bad days. You know what?
Right.
That's a good hand. I won't complain.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you don't have to wait till your wonderful, hopefully elder years to reflect on that. This it starts here in these present moments.
Yep. Yep. It started with our ancestors, out in cotton fields
Hmm.
singing, or in tobacco fields singing, and,
Hmm.
smiling and finding joy anyway,
Hmm.
So like everybody has their own version of something that's awful, but there is a space, to find some joy. And I think, I was telling that story more than anything because the holidays are a tricky time. Um,
Hmm.
but, I might charge you if you are a person who, who is not so, struggling so much with something that makes it impossible for you to see good. And if you do, hopefully you are in care. But if you are not, or if it's managed, consider taking an inventory of your good days, because chances are they outweigh your bad days,
Mm.
and you probably might have a better time over the holidays if you opt out of complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Words
man.
of wisdom. I
Yes.
told y'all.
Yeah, only at Grady will you see somebody roll up and be like straight up sick.
Like,
I mean, top of his lungs. I was like, bro,
and in front of the elevator, that is what I love.
in
When
front
he
of
was
the
like, y'all gonna get
elevator.
this concert.
And then the lady gonna jump in and they straight harmonizing and all the things. I was like, you know what? This is so Grady. And it is
Oh,
just, ugh, it is just,
yeah.
yeah, it's like so Grady. And I was here
So
for
good,
it.
man.
Mhm. Yes, yes. Well, kings, queens, non-binary royalty. We hope your good days outweigh your bad days. We are grateful, grateful, grateful to all of you who
Mm.
have been rocking with us and who are listening. And I know y'all, like me, are really grateful that Ashley was born. She's about to have a birthday. So, think happy thoughts for her. I'm not going to give y'all her address. Sorry. But, wherever you are, just think some happy thoughts for your girl.
Thank you. Appreciate
you. Just one step closer to me not being able to joke her for being so young.
Yeah. Well, when that day comes, it'll be a sad one, but yes, I'll take it. I was about to stop recording, but it's your job.
Yeah, it's my job. Wait a minute. Recording stopped.
That wraps up this week's episode of the Human Doctor Podcast.
Special thanks to our favorite brother gastroenterologist, Dr. Chuma Obiname, for the beats. Shout out to the Dr. Ashley McMullen for editing and production.
Mad love to our podcast family at The Nocturnist and the Clinical Problem Solvers, our Med Twitter fam.
And especially shout out to all of you, our listeners.
Until next week, remember,
we see you and you are enough. Holla!